If you've ever tried buying filters, and you've probably seen the square ones, there's the round ones, different sizes, different holders, different everything. But what on earth do you actually need? And honestly, most people end up buying the wrong thing first. And there's also one thing about screw-on filters that caught me out a couple of times, and it can actually ruin your shot. But I'll tell you about that in a second. Greetings all, and in this video we're going to be talking the difference between the screw-on and the square filters. We'll go through some pros and cons and which ones might be right for you. So let's start with the round screw-on type filters. These ones, literally as they say, they just screw on to the front of your lens. And these are probably what most people start with, and for good reason. They're simple and easy, and there's not really any setup that's required. They're usually cheaper, and they're great if you just want something quick and portable, especially for things like general video and shooting. But as with anything, there's a downside. If you've got multiple lenses, you'll either need different filter diameters or a step-up ring. So you're going to end up with multiple filters of, well, basically the same. Stacking filters can be really awkward, especially if you're trying to combine things like an ND filter and a polarizer. And also stacking multiple filters, you increase the risk of vignetting. Now, I mentioned at the start of the video about a problem that not a lot of people actually talk about, but one I think is rather important and to let you know. So when you actually attach the screw-on filter, you can actually knock your focus slightly, and you won't notice this until later. So it's always worth rechecking the focus after putting the filter on. But there is another problem. With something like the 10 stop ND filter, it gets so dark that you can't actually see what it is that you're focusing, unless your camera's capable of exposure simulation, but not all can. So with that in mind, what you end up doing is focusing, putting the filter on as gently as possible as not to knock the focus, and hoping for the best. So far this is really helping you out, then a like to the video would be much appreciated. And feel free to subscribe. It helps filter your feed with photography content like this. Now, square filters are a little bit different. Instead of screwing onto your lens, they slide into a holding system, like this Lee 100 system, which attaches to the front of your lens with a ring. And the beauty with these is you can get these in different sizes to fit all diameter lenses. So you're actually paying for a small bit of metal and not the complete filter. The big advantage here is flexibility. You can use the same filter across multiple different lenses just by changing the adapter ring. They're also perfect for graduated filters. So if you're shooting landscape, you could control bright skies without affecting the foreground. And because you're not twisting anything into that front of your lens, you're not going to risk that focus issue I was on about earlier. And if you get the system where you can stack multiple filters, it's much more easier to control. But it does come with a few trade-offs. They're more expensive up front, they're bulkier, and they take a little bit more time to initially set up. So they can feel a bit of an overkill if you just want something quick and simple. Now in a second I'll explain why I chose the Lee system, because this is really where it all comes together. For me, I mainly shoot landscape and outdoor scenes, so having that flexibility, especially with graduated filters, was more important than speed. It also made more sense long term, rather than buying multiple round filters for the different lenses I have. So for me, it wasn't about what was best, it was about what fits how I shoot. If you're just getting started, you're probably going to want something that's just quick and simple. And screw-on filters are absolutely fine. But if you get into landscape and want that bit more control, especially with exposure, then the square filter system makes a lot more sense. And like some, you're probably going to end up with a combination of both. For example, a circular polarizer and the square ND filters. But I'm curious, do you use the screw-on system or the square system? And why did you go that route? And if you haven't got any yet, what are you thinking of going for first? Let me know in the comments below. So if you are thinking about getting into filters, hopefully this will help you decide and avoid making a few little mistakes, and hopefully save some money as well. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, stay safe. I'll see you soon.